I'm back again. Oh, this is my baby Violet. Oh, my little baby. Say hi. Say hi, Violet. Say hi, Violet. Oh, you're so sweet. I'm really having a lot of fun making these videos, just in case you haven't noticed. But today I'm going to be talking to you guys about a guide. So if you haven't figured out what my page is about, my page is all about guides across life. So guide to losing weight, guide to graduation, guide to anything you think about that would happen in life. So today's guide is going to be my guide to dealing with grief. So keep watching. I lost my father back in August of 2017. So it's been about 3 years since he transitioned. And when I first heard the news of him passing, it was literally like I couldn't really wrap my head around it. Even now it's kind of hard to accept, but I had to get to the point where I could understand that he's no longer here. However, accept that his spirit is living on forever. Okay? So my first tip when dealing with grief would be to accept it. I know sometimes it seems unbelievable, it seems like it's not real, but you have to come to that state of reality that it's real. I feel that sometimes when we find ourselves not being able to accept the reality, it's harder for us to move on with life. My second tip would be to surround yourself around people you love. When my father passed away, he got in a car accident, and I have a close group of girlfriends that I have in my life, I've been blessed with in my life. So I text them and I asked them to pray for him, and unfortunately he did pass away, but that group was my rock. They prayed for me, they would check on me, and they definitely helped me move on. So definitely surround yourself around people who are going to allow you to feel, who are going to ask you if you're okay, who's going to dedicate time to checking in on you. You definitely need that support. My third tip for dealing with grief is finding I'm sorry, you guys. Hopefully these clips make sense, because I was watching the other part that got cut out and I realized that I never finished step 3, or tip 3, shall I say. So tip 3 is, during that time of grief, try to find things to fill your brain up with, such as, or reading material, shall I say. So I definitely read some classics. I brought out Brother Tupac, A Rose That Grew From Concrete. Read through this a bunch of times. I don't know, something about Tupac just, he just helped me. He helped me thug life it through. Okay. The other book that I had is, I love poetry. I love poetry. And I like connecting with what the writer, what the poet is trying to say. I try to put myself into the poem. I know, it's weird. Another book that I went to a lot when my dad passed away was Go Tell It on the Mountain by James Baldwin. And there are other poets in this book, and if you know anything about James Baldwin, he's a radical. He did not bite his tongue for no one, and he just gave me strength during that time. The third book that I referred to a lot was my 52 List of Happiness. When I first started writing in it, I could not find anything to be happy about. It would tell you to do certain tasks, like, for example, list 1. List what makes you happy right now. I can find nothing. Ain't nothing make me happy. Sleep. sleep made me happy because I was so sad that I just wanted to sleep every day, all day. But as I went and I got up each day, I started to find different tasks in this. Like when I got to like list 13, list the things in your life that you actually are able to control. Like this is good because it helps you clear your mind, jot down your thoughts, and it helps you reflect. Okay, because it gives you action like at the end. Like for example, for the list things in your life you are actually able to control, the take action is cross off anything that involves other people. Ultimately, the only things you are going to be able to control are your own actions and choices. And you'll feel better if you can spend less time worrying about the things you can't control. So it gives you like a little bit of a reflection to kind of help you work out exactly what you're struggling with. So this book was clutch. 52 Lists of Happiness. I got this book, I want to say at TJ Maxx, honey. I am a Maxxinista in my mind. I should be in their commercials because I spend hours in their dang on stores. And lastly, of course, my other book isn't necessarily a book that I keep on hand, even though I have one in my library. I use the app most, which is the Bible. When my dad passed away, I was searching for answers. I was just like, why, Lord? Why? I needed answers. I needed him to tell me something. I dealt with anger. I felt like God owed me to keep him living, if you understand what I mean. So I dealt with anger a lot. And as the weeks and the months went by, I started, instead of looking for answers, I started reading the Bible to find peace of mind. And it gave me those connections. It helped me remember. It brought me to a place of remembering that this life that we have on earth is not forever. And it's important to understand that God is with us. He'll never leave us nor forsake us. And he's guiding us through this thing we call life. And the Bible definitely helped me cope with the passing of my father. So I'm going to, in the next clip, put in step 4. You guys got to bear with me. I mean, I will say this. I'm happy that I'm at the point where I can talk about grief and I can smile, because that wasn't always the case. It was never, the case for me. When you talked about grief or anything that had to do with the afterlife or I just, I didn't want to hear it. You understand what I'm saying? I'm going to insert the next clip. Go on. Step 4. Go on. Send in step 4. Send it in. 3. So my 4th tip would be to find something to occupy your time. You need to read, exercise, make friends, do something, find someone, get some type of hobby. Because if you wallow and you don't figure out life beyond, then you'll find yourself falling into a depression, falling into not getting things done, and your energy will unfortunately bring other people who are around you down. So in a lot of cases, you do have supportive friends and they care about you and they love you. However, your sadness is an energy, and despite I'm good, I'm fine, it still is very present. So it's very important that you do like an affirmation that morning and speak positivity and speak life over yourself so that you can have a great bright day. My last tip for dealing with grief is to dedicate times for remembrance. For myself, on my dad's birthday, I release balloons. On Father's Day, I do something special. So there are certain things that I do that help me celebrate him. The day of his passing isn't something that I celebrate. that's a day that I try not to acknowledge so much. It's because that's like the day of his tragedy. So I try to focus on the positive, his birthday, his wedding anniversary, things like that. I try to focus on those things because you want to make that transitioning experience for yourself to be one of light. And that's really it. So I hope these tips were useful. Oops, sorry y'all. We'll just wear it like it was earlier. I hope these tips were useful. I hope that you are finding peace in this time, and I hope that this video was helpful to you. Losing a loved one is never easy, and I'm not going to say it gets easier because it doesn't. What gets easier is how you cope with the loss. So you learn to add that loss into your life as a norm. So that's what the term it gets easier is referring to. It's not necessarily an ease, it's a point of acceptance for normality. The heartache will be there, but how you transition, how you move, and how you live your day to day with that pain is something that you learn to do positively as time goes on. So that is it. I hope you enjoyed the video. I'm gonna go hang out with Violet, and thank you for watching. Hey. Yeah, well, I like that. That was nice. Peace.